Peace and Black Power family. This is your host, Raheem Shabazz, and we are here for another episode of Necessary Blackness Podcast. And today, family, we have a special guest in the building, right? And I'm just going to read a brief bio, and this bio is not going to do her any justice, and she's going to come on and give us an in-depth overview of who she is, her evolution, and her spiritual journey. So, Shekinah Keys, born in Israel to Black American parents who made their way to what many consider to be the Holy Land. She has been raised in a family that's devoted to Hebrew Israelite religion, and she's going to speak with us today. And I can go on record and say that I have seen videos of those that are Black Americans that live in Israel, but I haven't met anyone personally that was actually Black American parents that was born in Israel. So this is something that's special for us, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome her to the Necessary Blackness Podcast. How are you, sister?
I am well. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited as I am embarking on a journey of getting worldwide and put my message out there.
Okay, now I'm not very good with names and I'll be butchering names, right? What is the correct pronunciation of your name?
Shekinah, just like you've heard Shekinah glory, it means in Hebrew one who holds the vessel of the feminine divine, God's essence on earth.
Shekinah.
Shekinah, yes.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the correct pronunciation of the name, and she just gave us the divine meaning of what it means in Hebrew, right? So I want to start off, and I like to go in not so much as chronicle order, but I like to start in the beginning, and then we can wage our way through everything else from there, right? So
Yes.
take us to your humble beginning. You born in Israel to Black American family. Tell us, how was that and why did they decide to move over there? And what was life like for you over there?
Well, first of all, once again, I am Shekinah, your number one elevated consciousness coach. I was born and raised in Israel, southern Israel, to two parents who joined a African Hebrew community called the KOY, the Kingdom Holiness, the Kingdom of God on Earth. That was the energy that they originally embarked on that journey. My father came from the windy city of Chicago. He heard messages, he saw, went to meetings, and he felt in his spirit after talking to his father, his grandfather, excuse me. His grandfather told him, listen, his grandfather was a 33-degree Mason, and he shared some things on him and told him, this is not really our land. This is not our home. We belong to an African descent of the Hebrew Israelite nationality, lineage. So my father, being who he is by nature, he was like, okay, I want to go see for myself. Packed up, the only son to his mother, the only child to his mother. But like many, he was yearning and seeking to find a place where he can call home, where he won't feel neglected or abused or oppressed. Just like our elders and ancestors, Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King, a lot of them preached and talked about us being and becoming who we are destined to be and actually reuniting with our culture and lineage. My mother came from Chocolate City, capital, Washington, D.C. They met in Israel at the community, in the community down south. They did not know each other prior to. About a year later, they got married, and 9 months later, there was I. I was born in Beersheba. This is the capital of the southern Israel. And they both tried their best. They were immigrants. I want you to visualize and picture two people who came from middle class. And at that time, back in the 80s and the 70s, that was a big deal for you to be middle class and you to be black. And you went to college. And my mom left Capitol Hill working a job where she felt like she had officially attained that American dream. But their spirit was hungry. They wanted something more. They wanted to connect to something different. They wanted to bring children into this world for something different. Later on, to find that that wasn't the full picture.
Okay, we're gonna get into that. I don't want you to give too much too early.
Yes,
Right? So you're talking about this yearning for hunger to be spiritually satisfied, right?
right.
I know of the community that's in Dimona, right? Is that
Yes,
how you say it? Dimona?
yes, Zamona.
And is that the same community or this is the different community?
Yes, this is
This
the same community. It was just in the early 70s, 80s, it was on mainly the capital of the community was in Dimona, but the dispersal between the cities called Arad and Mitzpe Ramon. So
mm,
that's where the bulk of us settled.
okay. And to today, they say that there's anywhere between 5,000 and 7,000 black
Members.
Americans that's over there. Now keep in mind, 5 to 7,000 didn't migrate over there. Many
No.
of them was born. Many of them have children that they birthed over there, such as yourself, right?
Yes.
So that's the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Now I want to get to the hot topic, which is the Palestine and
Versus Judaism.
Israel, huh?
Palestine versus Judaism or Palestine versus Israel.
Palestine versus Israel in the ongoing conflict, right?
Mhm.
Um, as a person that's Black American, right? How was you treated by the Palestinians, and how was you treated by those that live in Israel that are Jews?
First and foremost, I have to start by saying that I grew up in a segregated community.
Mm,
So in my younger age, it was very distant because we were sheltered in the community during the confounds of the community, meaning you played, you moved around only in your vicinity, only in your area. But early 80s, 90s, we didn't have a conflict with neither because we
mm,
were peaceful. We were peaceful. But as I grew up and became more, how you say, Dora the Explorer, I was one who loved to travel throughout the country before began to travel external. I really got to see the difference of the culture. It's very important to state, and I want to start off with killing anyone is wrong.
mhm,
Killing anyone is wrong. Genocide on any race, religion, color is wrong. It is wrong in God's eyes. It's wrong in just from a heart space, humanity. It is wrong. But as we move forward and we're dealing with two of the toppest religions in the world who say that they are of God, who say that they are about life and being the light of the world. We talk about Judaism, we talk about Muslims. That is not their innate way of being. The Palestinians are very peaceful people. The Palestinians are very peaceful. They are very helpful, loving, inviting into their homes, into their villages. But they are also the radicals. Those radicals instilled fear in that country. I'm talking about growing up in a war zone. I'm talking about living in a space where you didn't know what your faith would lie. I went to school with gas masks from threats from Iraq and Kuwait. I remember the Gulf War. I was old enough to remember that some of the things that's also in my book. I remember that. I remember getting on a bus as a teen and looking over my shoulders, that praying that we don't see a Palestinian because of the fear of a suicide bomber, because of the fear of somebody just decided that your life isn't worth living because you go against their religion.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
You don't think they would have gave you grace, um, although you practice the Hebrew religion, but that you're of African, well, Black American descent?
It wasn't about color.
It's about religion.
When they get on a bus, they didn't say, "Oh, okay, there's a Black woman over there. She looked innocent, so I'm not going to blow up the bus." No. Many have been attacked. Many have experienced this. I remember the constant terror of bombs dropping constantly. But I also want to say this. For the fact that the Israelis retaliate and they bomb and they desecrate the cities, it's horrific. It's horrific because both sides of those borders, you have children,
Mm-hmm.
children who are experiencing loss. It took me literally a year to heal from PTSD. A year. I'm talking about self-reprogramming, hypnosis, energy clearings, constant work with a mentor and a life coach to help stabilize my nervous system. So
And that
imagine that's me on one side. Imagine on the other side.
and that happened. The healing process happened when you came to the United
Here.
States, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I just want to back up a little bit, right?
Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to. We're still over in Israel, right? Um,
Yes.
when I had spoke with you, right? Everybody has a position that I know of. You have a unique position. You don't have a position in this.
I want them both to be free.
Yeah, and another thing that was new to me that you enlightened me to, based on your perspective. You know, most people like myself, we've been taught and we believe that the Palestinians, that this is their land. Um, and everybody, from what we've told, that the British gave the land to the Jews. When me and you spoke, you gave me a different perspective of
More ancient or more ancient.
you went more ancient to who's the real original habitat of this land. I want you, for our listeners, to go into that concept and that idea.
Israel is the Holy Land. Israel was given to Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham was one, just like I consider my parents. They were one, he was one who was obedient to his spirit. He was giving Israel as a covenant for his children, for his lineage. Israel was considered Judea.
Mm-hmm.
Jerusalem was given to the kings of Judah. Although Palestine comes from the son of Abraham, which is Ishmaelites. So you have Isaac, who comes from the Judea lineage, and you have Ishmael, which is the Palestinian. In ancient times, when Greco-Rome, we're talking about almost 3,000 years ago, when Greco-Roman came and conquered Israel, when the names in the cities change, like Tiberias is named after one of the what was he called? A general in Rome,
One of the colonizers.
one of the colonizers from Rome,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
But when they conquered Israel, the people of Israel, Judea, fled to the four corners of the earth.
Mm.
Therefore, honestly, 100%, unless you really got the full DNA, at this point, Israel is not a trace where we can really trace lineage. We can only go by spirit because those people have dispersed throughout the land. I want you to picture your brother and his whole family got up and left because they were haunted, they were slaughtered, genocide,
Mm-hmm.
conform, convert to Roman, Greco-Roman beliefs, or leave. So they left, majority of them. Palestine, Ishmaelites, which was given their covenant, their lands is Saudi Arabia. All of that side of Africa, where the Muslim habitats, like people love to go to Dubai, that whole region, that whole area, even Jordan, was part of Ishmael's, Palestine's lineage and covenant. Israel was this little bitty sliver that was given to Judah, which was Isaac's family and lineage. Now, Palestine, the Palestinians, the Ishmaelites, went and inhabited that land. So, yes, they were there. Before the British came and gave it to the Jews after the Holocaust as a home, the Palestinians were there. But I really, really want people to understand and picture the fact that they're both fighting over a land that doesn't belong to them. It's God's land. It is a land of the capital and the Holy Spirit and energy, which all nations should and could have the freedom to go.
Now let me go into another area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today, someone had sent me um, an article, and this article was talking about the latest development over there. They're saying that 51% of the houses and homes in Gaza is leveled. Millions of people are displaced. Um, it's a humanitarian crisis, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think when people are saying, that they're violating articles of war and what they're doing and the killing of these children?
They're right.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is no one. We're talking about the Native Americans that have been demolished right here on this land. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the wars in Rwanda, the genocide, black on black crime. We're talking about genocides anywhere in the world. It's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's not of humane. It's not love. And war is not, that's not war. That's possession. That's ego and the need to control and oppress a people. Anytime that you feel that you have a right to demolish a community, a genocide, create a genocide of a race and a religion, that's wrong. So do
Yes,
I feel? Absolutely. I feel horrible about the whole circumstance. But I also want you to understand that I have 3 children back in Israel right now
I wanted to get right into that. Let's go.
who's living in terror. They're not scared of the Palestinians, they're scared of the terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist group who's wreaking terror over Israel now. But that's just picture it for 1 second. If we gave that land completely back, let's say they cut out a piece of land and gave it to Jews and said, you know what? That's y'all's. Nobody could take it. What's going to stop the terrorists for bombing America? Because they want more money. What's going to stop the terrorists from launching bombs off the top of their schools, their neighborhoods where their children and their families live? What's going to stop them? So, is it a world crisis? Absolutely. Is terror being experienced on both sides? Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's horrific.
Now you
And it's
spoke.
not about a land or a house. I'm here to tell you, it's not about a land or a house, because these people, the last massive war, Gaza drop bombs frequently. Anyone that live in the South, you hear alarms. The cities, the people that live on the Gaza Strip, that's a constant thing. But the most massive war was at least 2 or 3 years ago. That
Mm,
means all the funding, all the money, the UN, Israel, the places throughout the globe funneled into Gaza, they prepare more tunnels, they prepare more ammunition instead of really building up their cities, instead of really infusing life and love and living to modernize their world. They funneled it into bombs. How else can you afford to sling over 2,000 bombs a day?
yeah, that's crazy. Now you said that your children are still over there. You got 3 children over there, right?
Yes.
Um, and I could just imagine for them, living in fear of what's actually happened. Is there a possibility to get them out and bring them here?
They will be here soon. They are American citizens. It's due to COVID, the list for processing paperwork and the due diligence of getting certain things done is a little slower than before, but it's being handled and taken care of.
Now, I want you to explain that too, right? Because most people, such as myself, will believe that if you're born over there, that you're not a citizen of the United States. But you was explaining to me, being that your parents is citizens in the United States, it automatically make their children citizens of the United States. And how
Yeah.
does that work for you since you was born over there?
It's called birth abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born in Israel, but I was the first generation to my parents.
Mm.
My parents are American citizens, so their first line of children automatically received American citizenship. But our children, which in my specific case, my children received it through their father because he was born in the US. So our children is his first generation. But if it was to come through me, they will not be eligible for citizenship. Just like many children, babies in Israel are stateless. They do not have citizenship, not in Israel, nor in America.
And when a situation like that happened where they're stateless, right? And I remember there was a period not too long ago where they was trying to deport those that was in demonia. How does that play out?
How
Where?
does that play out? That's concentration camps. That's what that looked like.
Mm,
Imagine the borders here. Imagine the borders here of people that stuck between two borders or two countries.
mm-hmm.
You will be in a holding cell camp until they figure out, until one of the countries give in and give you some type of paperwork.
Wow. Wow. All right, I'm gonna get off the war, right?
Yes.
The opposite of war is peace. And you
Love.
bring a lot of peace to a lot of people's life, right? You're not
Thank
only
God.
a Hebrew instructor, but you also like a spiritual guide to many people. And some of them I personally know. I want you to talk about that aspect of your life. What do you do for people? How was you able to heal yourself and overcome the trauma that you experienced from living over there?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say for those who've heard or aware of the term awakening, I had an awakening. Awakening is when your soul said, that's it. The world that you've been living, the things that you have experienced, that's not innately you. It's time for you to search, discover who you are, and walk in your purpose. For me, I came over here to Atlanta at 2021. I got a call late one night. I was working night shift, hotel clerk, manager at the front desk, counting money, stressed because it was right after COVID, doing the mid hours of we just getting back on track, you know. COVID just got you. You can imagine COVID around the world hit all different stations. Any job that wasn't considered essential was either demolished, closed, or very frequently worked. So I sat home for a year, and then the hotel opened up. With the constant new pressure of getting things done and new orders and things, I'm sitting there in the front desk getting ready to close out, and I received a call. Did you know your dad is sick? I'm like, what? No, I had no clue he was sick. They said, your dad is really ill, seemingly dying. As my mind started playing, like many people, your ace, your best friend, the matriarch of your family is ill. Because what many people don't know is, yes, he lived 40 years in Israel, but him too, like a spiritual guide and coach for many souls, he came back to the US, and he was traveling and bouncing between DC, Cleveland, Ohio, and Atlanta. Atlanta was his final station. So I got the call, I took the call, talked to my dad. He was like, yeah, I'm out of it. But my dad was very spiritual, and he knew one thing is that if he sounded too messed up, I was getting on the plane that following day. So he's like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. So I'm like, okay, cool. Fast forward 30 days later, it wasn't no convincing me that he was okay. I got on a plane. I dropped everything. I got on a plane. I came here. Once again, the threats of COVID, hotels, hospitals, once again, shut down. You can't. Now he's in a hospital on quarantine. I'm in Atlanta, flew 7,000 miles away, and I cannot get to him. So I'm mentally, emotionally distorted. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to turn to. One of the guys who is my mentor, Shaman Ra, shout out to Oracle's Touch, he said, he looked at me, he said, you need an energy clearing. And I was like, now I come from Israel, born and raised in spirituality. So I thought, turns out I had no clue what an energy clearing was. So for those who don't know what an energy clearing, it is the ability to tap into the universal light energy to heal, to align one's chakras, to heal and release energies, stagnant energies, trapped energies that no longer serve you. I got the energy clearing because at this point, what the heck? I feel horrible. So I was desperate. And from that day, my soul opened up and blossomed like the lotus flower. And it was like, okay, it's time. I began to meditate and pray. As I meditated, the more things came to me. The true understanding of who I was and why I'm here. I went back to Israel because now my soul is fed. My dad is stable. Now I went back home. 8 days later, I was back on the plane because my dad made transition.
And I want to
2
give
weeks.
condolences and rest in peace to your dad.
Thank you. He rests in eternally. Believe that. He is everywhere I go.
I know that's
Those first 2 weeks of getting here, I lost my passport. Now, mind you, I'm an American citizen, not an Israeli citizen. I'm a resident in Israel, but I'm an American citizen. I lost my passport before I can get any form of picture ID. So for the first 3 months, 4 months of being in the US, I had no identification besides my social security. I was considered destabilized. Go sit down. Go sit
Mm,
down. Now, as I was sitting down, going within, this is when I really took the time to meditate, do more energy healings, releasing the stagnant energies, getting a full understanding of why I was so nervous, why I was so anxious. I didn't know what was PTSD. When you think of PTSD, you automatically think of soldiers, veterans. Never in a million years did I think, oh, one of the reasons why you never drove a car is because you can't even handle the noise of something flickering too loud. So months after that, my mentor told me to start. He gave me a specific prayer and he said to pray this. That's the Anabikoach prayer that I coach and
mm,
assist people to unveil their shadows and tap into a higher energy to allow them to draw down their higher selves and release things that don't serve them. I started saying that prayer for the first 2 weeks, and the transformation within my soul was unimaginable. In
mm,
spite of becoming homeless, my fat bedroom penthouse officially closed down. My children had to move in with their father for the first time because they had never lived with their father since we had been divorced over 13 years. Everything became one wall colliding into the other. But through all that chaos, I found peace. So my testimony was to definitely begin to teach that prayer. And I began to teach the prayer. For those who know me, I was born as Porea Bat Israel Keys. Porea Bat Israel Keys means fruitful in God, the daughter of Israel. But
mm.
my name was given to me by the community leader, not by my parents, not by spirit. So after a long transformation, months of being in Atlanta, completely tapping further deeper within me, taking on mentors, assistants, therapists, healing energies, hypnosis, you name it. I wanted to offer that to people.
Mm.
I wanted to offer that to people because I know what state I was in. I was emotionally constipated. I couldn't cry until I exploded. Full on panic attack, anxiety attacks. Couldn't breathe. I thought many times that I was having a heart attack.
Wow.
So finally, after experiencing freedom from mental slavery, emotional and spiritual slavery, I began to truly dive deeper into the prayer, teaching and coaching. So far, I have almost 40 people who have completed the prayer, who have experienced massive transformations and are still going with me because there's levels to this prayer, unlocking the tree of life within them, healing themselves. And I wanted to go deeper. So I wrote a book.
We're gonna get to that
No problem. Go
before you
ahead.
get before you get to the book. You talked about your great awakening. You talked
Mhm.
about the healing process and what you went through and how powerful the prayer is. Now, say that name once again for that prayer because I know people want to catch it again.
The prayer is Anna Bekoak. It
Ana.
literally, it literally means please with the strength. You are calling the first word. Ana means please, but it's not a regular plea. It's an activated energy of I surrender. I surrender to my ways. I surrender to my own thoughts, the patterns that I've grown up with, the understanding I am an empty board that I wish you to fill with love and light and grace. That's the prayer.
Okay. Speaking of surrendering to your ways, right? You
Yes.
have done that. You
Yes.
have did this transformation, and
Yes.
no longer are a part of the Hebrew religion, right? Correct?
No, I do not follow any religion.
People will be surprised as that. Can you give us a little bit? Don't give us too much because it's in the book. And I
Right.
want to definitely go get that book, and we're going to talk about that next. Just give us a little bit of why this was this and now it's this way now.
Many people are not aware that the Old Testament is powerful. Yes. And the laws were given to Moses. And
Mm-hmm.
Moses gave, first it was 256 laws that was given to Abraham. And then down the generations after captivity, the law was given to Moses. It was 10 basic laws,
10 Commandments, right?
10 commandments. Then let's go further down the same lineage. We're talking about the same lineage, the same energy. We made it to Yeshua, those who know him as Jesus Christ. But those who do not know Christ mean chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
That's Greco-Roman, Greeks. That's another thing. This is also another way to prove of the fact that Israel was conquered, because they changed his name in every book. For those who do not know, there's no J, no J in the Hebrew language. His name was Yeshua, which means salvation and redeemer. He came with the new laws. The new laws was to accept God in the true essence and consciousness. It was not to erase the laws prior to.
Mm-hmm.
It was to understand that when you accept God, the light of God, the consciousness and wisdom of God, all those laws will unlock within you. I'm not going to need to tell you. That's what spirituality is. Tapping into the universal consciousness. Yeshua said, turn the other cheek. What does that mean? Turn the other cheek is see yourself in that person. See, most people thought, oh, he could do whatever he wanted to do, and I'm just supposed to just turn. No, it was all symbolically written for us to see and read between the lines, decode it. The entire Bible is parables. So one of the things that led me to leave the community is the ways. They were very stiffler and stuck on the old way of living and old way of doing things, which also instilled fear, which also instilled theft of identity. It wouldn't allow you to really nurture your spirit, who you are, and why you're here. So, anything, and this is something I want to plant a seed in our listeners, your listeners' heart, anything that causes you to ignore your innate spirit, your inner voice, that gut feeling, all of us have it. It's called intuition. That's your spirit talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can turn away and say, I don't know what is it, but something ain't right, that's when you begin to start following the messages of your spirit. And for me, my meditations, the things that were revealed to me, it explained that yes, the Hebrew lineage was real, but Israel, Hebrew culture is a lifestyle. It is not a religion. It is not to look down on someone, big U's and little I's. We are supposed to embrace all human beings with God consciousness because we all have God in us. Period.
Now, I know in situations such as this, where someone was a devoted individual, a part of a religion or a sect, that oftentimes when they transition or they leave, that the repercussion is not good. People disown you, they don't speak to you no more. Has that been the case with yourself?
Yes. Yes. I have been deemed crazy,
Mm-hmm.
chameleon, shapeshifter, all kind of things. Because I'm not only living differently, I am also speaking my truth. And it's up to you if this field, if it feel like what I'm saying is correct, then
Mm-hmm.
you that means that's your spirit telling you, oh man, I didn't think about that. Oh, I didn't know that, you know. But I am no longer sitting on the sidelines allowing someone else in any culture to oppress another, to strip anyone of their identity. That's why my entire system is elevate your consciousness. That means elevate your awareness, go within. Even as a coach, I can only give you the keys. You have to unlock the doors and you have to walk through the doors. I'm not here to do it for you.
Mm. Now, some of them keys is in that book. Let's get to
Yes,
that.
this book is called From Powerless to Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Unleash the power from within. Unlock your true potential with discovering your inner strength. From powerless to powerful is this transformative journey with me, Shekinah Keys. I share my personal experiences and profound insights, guiding you from a place of powerless, feeling stuck, don't know what to do, especially for those who are having this massive awakening and don't know where to turn. This book will assist you in just standing, looking, and going deeper within. Explore topics such as overcoming trauma, embracing self love, and harnessing the influence of mindset and awareness. Joining this extraordinary voyage and awaken the dormant energy and power within you. This book is your roadmap to personal transformation and
Mm-hmm.
empowerment, offering wisdom and tools to help you become the best version of yourself. The topics cover cult life, living in war zone, lessons from trauma, self-sacrifice, motherhood, spirituality, the great awakening. I go over each of the energies that we all experience: abandonment, separation anxiety, all the different things that one way or the other we all can take, no matter where you came from, what background, what religion, what nationality, what race. We all can identify with the different topics in this book. And for those, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm gonna let you keep going, but I want you to let people know because I know the book, and I'm seeing people asking when the book is available.
The launch date is November 30th, but I officially set out a link that you can pre-order starting tonight. You
I'm
can
gonna put that
pre-order
link.
your copy and it will be sent to you directly to your home.
All right. Now, I don't know how much. I think we got a few more minutes left, right?
Go ahead.
There's
Mhm.
gonna be people that want to get in contact with you because they're gonna want to learn that prayer. They need a life coach. They need a spiritual coach.
I'm
And
here to
especially
assist.
after they read the book, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, as of now, tonight, you can follow me on She Prays underscore pure on Instagram, and you can send me a DM, follow me, and I will align you to the right links and everything that you need. I also have an email blog that you can join. That's something that is purely my offering to humanity. I do share different stories because I got a multitude of them, and I give you takeaways so you can also just give you a little motivation weekly. So if you're interested, all you can say, tap in Raheem, DM me Raheem, and I'll know where you came from and I will align you. My website is also shepraysepure.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all just joining us, we are here with Shekinah. I said it right?
Shekinah Keys.
Shekinah. See, I told
I
you.
mean, now if you want me to say it in Hebrew, I can say Shekinah, but I think Shekinah be a lot easier for you.
Oh, okay. So we talked about a multitude of things, and I want people to really read the book. And I want you to promise us that this is your first, but it's not going to be your last time
Absolutely.
gracing the Necessary Blackness Podcast. So, in closing, I think we got about 5 more minutes. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you, or is there anything that you want to say in your last closing words?
I really want people to understand that no matter what you experience in this life,
Mm-hmm.
for one, I'll be 40 on the 28th of October. But for 38 years, I lived in constant fear, terror. I am a survivor of a cult. I am a survivor of sexual assault. I am a survivor of a multitude of abuse, self inflicted as well, emotional, severe trauma. And if I can stand here before you with love in my heart for every single person who has trespassed against me, you can find it. You can heal. You can align yourself with your purpose, and you can always find the power within you. That's my take.
That's that's a great outro. That is a perfect outro because as you saying that, I'm just sitting here in awe, like I got work to do. You look at me wrong, I want to put blood in your mouth. And you saying all the stuff that you done went through, and you can forgive and you can forget and you can move on. And I think
So we talk about them 45,000 people that's over there. I might have less than 3% that still talk to me.
less than 3%.
Less than 3%. And that does not include my 10 brothers and sisters and my
Mm,
mother. They do
that that
not talk to me.
that shows the fortitude of you
Love.
believing in what you believing in and standing 10 toes down and not worrying about what anybody else thinks.
That's what we're here to do. We are all here to learn how to embrace each other, learn to embrace love and forgiveness, and be okay with people not agreeing with you. I'm not here to make everyone agree with me. I'm just here to help shed the light that you can change your existence at any moment. You can create what I call the new Genesis within yourself, a new beginning, a rebirth. You do not have to
Yeah.
stay the same.
And we need that because when you look at it, right, they call what do they call it? Epic where trauma's passed down 7 generations.
You can
Um
clear your DNA with
mm,
energy. I have clear, it's not just, this is one of the most beautiful experiences. And thank God for our ancestors who have passed down this ancient knowledge. It's there for each and every last one of us to tap into it. The healing modalities that allow you to reconfigure your DNA. I'm also an vegan cuisine chef that I teach people how to eat. So I'm not here to make the whole world vegan. I'm not big on that. I say live your best life, but be conscious of what you put in your temple. All of it has a massive how would you say attachment and how we can heal ourselves. Your DNA rejuvenate every 24 months. You
wow.
become a brand new person. So that DNA that was passed down from my father's trauma, my grandmother's trauma, all of that lineage, that's where karmic debt come from. That's why I help people understand where did it come from? How to heal it. For those who had a great awakening, that means you were chosen to heal it for your lineage. You're strong enough. You're ready. You just need help. and I am
Yeah,
here to help.
the word I was looking for was called epigenetics, and
Yes,
that
epigenetics.
yeah,
Yes,
your trauma passed down, and they said it can go as up to 7 generations, and we're not
it
even
can.
7 generations outside of slavery. So
Right.
we definitely need to tap in as a people, family, to
Absolutely. We
what our
can
sisters
heal
us.
those traumas. We can heal those traumas. I have a grandmother that was a Cherokee Indian. They got demolished. We got family ancestors from New Orleans that were slaves. They got demolished. So, one way or the other, all of that lived within me on top of my own trauma, on top of my own experiences. But I am here to tell you that your ancestors will help you heal. All you got to do is say, I'm ready.
Mm.
All you have to do is say, I'm ready. Guide me to the right person, to the right coach, to the right mentor, and I'm ready. And this is when you begin your true journey to start listening.
There's somebody that's gonna listen to this podcast that's gonna say they ready, and they're gonna
I'm
reach
ready
out
for
to
you.
you, sister. Someone already, Savannah S. She said she pray underscore pure. So it's
PR,
SHEPRAYS, right?
yes,
Pure
underscore pure.
PRE. Yeah, you have it right, sister. Someone else, you stream said to die for this. TADAH. What does
Toda.
that mean? Huh?
Toda is thank you in Hebrew.
Die. See, I meant
Toda.
I
It's
said
okay. Toda,
Woo!
unconditional
It's gonna be
love
hard for me to
and
learn
healing.
Hebrew. It's gonna be hard for me to learn it.
Well, that's a mindset. I ain't taught 60-year-olds. I ain't taught 60-year-olds. They thought the same thing. They be like, wait a minute. Now they saying prayers and reciting. Yes.
I know the Fatiha, and I know a couple of the Muslims prayer, and I can say it in Arabic. So if I can learn that, I think I can
You can
learn.
learn. First of all, we have an infinite possibility with consciousness. All we
Mhm.
have to do is say we want to, meditate with it, and just begin. And you will realize, first of all, if your soul is hungry for certain languages, that means that innately you have spoken them before. So it's
Mhm.
just reactivating the memory.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
it. That's it. So I want to thank you on behalf of the Necessary Blackness family that's online, that's viewing this. Someone
Thank
said
you.
I'm one of the 60-year-olds. Oh, you got some there. So I'm not quite 60-year-old yet. So I definitely know I
Still
can.
got time. You still got time. You still got time.
And so
Yes.
I want to wish you an early birthday, and I hope you
Thank
enjoy.
you. I'm so excited this year.
What do you have planned?
Well, this actual Saturday, it falls on I'm doing a massive cleanse and fast. But
Mhm.
the following Sunday, I'm celebrating with my soul family
Okay.
and we're doing dinner. And then I'm going to Jamaica.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
going to Jamaica on a spiritual retreat. Now, if you're interested in this spiritual retreat, I am not the actual coach. I'm just going to be there to enjoy and retreat for myself. But if you are interested, you also can let me know. DM me on IG, Raheem. I will know where you came from, and I'll give you more details.
That's right. You heard it right here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raheem Shabazz, and you was tuned into Necessary Blackness Podcast. And I want to thank you, sister, for
Thank
coming
you. I
and
appreciate it.
enlightening us. I usually have people on here that um it's a different vibe. This right here is different. I like it. And like I said, let's not make this your last time on Necessary.
Absolutely not. I will be back.
All
I'll
right,
be
matter
back. You
of
can
fact,
probably do another one before the launch date. I will love that. And
absolutely,
just bring another topic. Definitely.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
So peace and
Peace
black
and love.
power.
Likewise. Bye bye.